and Kitty here to say, pop culture fun in every way. Music, TV, movies, oh so bright. Join us for a blast tonight. Sister and brother rocking the flow, sharing all the things you need to know. Kathy and Kenny always in the mix. Pop culture fun fix to fix. Pop culture kids podcast crew. Tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kenny make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone. Sit for everyone. I brought some for everyone. Pop culture kids podcast crew. Tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kitty make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone.
Time for your weekly dose of pop culture with Kathy and Kenny, the Pop Culture Kids.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Pop Culture Kids with your host Kathy and Kenny as we come to you with pop culture news and the pop culture topic of the week coming to you from the North and the South. Me from North Carolina, Kenny from South Jersey. How are you, my brother?
I am doing just fantastic.
Good.
Fantastic.
Oh, fantastic. Shazow. Why is that?
Just, you know what? Because life is good.
Life is good. I agree. Life is good. You know what? School just
Every day
ended.
above ground is a good day.
I'm telling you, every day up above ground is a good day. And school just ended for me on Friday, so that was yay, all
Oh,
kinds
really?
of good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Plus, we busted this little kid who's been bringing vapes into the school, so it's like, yeah, it's like,
Oh, really?
it was like a karate chop. It's like, gotcha. We could never catch him, you know. It's like,
Oh, you got to catch him in the act for the.
well,
with the
no,
stick?
not catch it. Well, he would never have it on him. Like, you know, he would either sell it or get rid of it or what. We could never catch him with the goods. And then, you know, we caught him, got a
Did
confession.
Did you use the undercover like 21 Jump Street?
No. No
Get some
21 Jump
15-year-old
Street
looking
required.
cop to come in and. No, you couldn't do that. No, okay.
You know what? Because we couldn't even get anybody. It's like middle school. What are these kids doing in middle school? My goodness. They're ridiculous. Crazy. I don't know what, you know what? Just prayers for this generation because Lord knows I don't get it. I don't get it. So, anyway, we are here. Happy Memorial Day weekend as we honor those who have served and thank you for your service. And we just hang out every Sunday night, my brother and I, since the pandemic, to just talk pop culture because basically we were latchkey kids raised on, you know, reruns and I need another line for that. I don't know. Kool-Aid and reruns.
No, we really wasn't raised on Kool-Aid. Like, well, the first part, we lived in Philly, we were raised on Kool-Aid.
Great
But
Kool-Aid.
I'm gonna say peanut butter and jelly sandwiches
Oh, PB and
for
J.
me. PB
Yeah,
and J
that's true.
and chocolate milk and
Okay.
and reruns.
And reruns. There you go. We were cable before there was streaming. When you had a big old box in your living room, and you had to press the buttons.
The
Oh my
box
God,
had
you
the
remember that
line
cable
attached
box?
to yeah, it was attached to TV, and you had it sat there, and it was like you had to hit the buttons. It was like I think it was like 3 sets of buttons on the cable box, and you had to go down like this it was a mess. But before that, I mean, we're old enough before that where you had to get up and turn the channel yourself,
Oh yeah.
and you only had like 7 channels. You had PBS,
Oh, and
ABC,
pray the
NBC.
knob wasn't broken because then you had to
You
get a
oh,
pair of pliers, and
you got to get a pair of pliers,
that's when
and you
you,
got to
as as the
pray the
youngest child in
reception's
the house,
good.
you were the remote control.
Yeah. Pray that the reception is good, because otherwise you got to go get a set of hangers,
Right.
stick a hanger in there.
And now this generation, they get to watch everything like on their phone, and I'm like, oh please. There was a time when you know what, you call somebody, they weren't home, and that was it. End of story. It was
Ugh.
like
Ugh.
it was over. It was over.
I was waiting for the catch on that. So,
There's the catch. That's the catch.
you want to start off with some pop culture news?
Why not, my brother? Let's go to pop culture news.
It's time for pop culture news for the pop culture kids, Kathy and Kenny.
All righty.
All right, kicking off the news, Chelsea Handler speaks out about the Kevin Hart roast that she was a part of.
Mm.
And Chelsea Handler really came down on the white male comedians for poor, sloppy writing. And
Ouch.
she just really came, because she
Did
just
you
did
watch
not.
it?
I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it.
Okay.
And what I watched wasn't funny. I'm trying
Ouch.
to make it up to the Cat Williams part, because I know Cat Williams is always going to be funny. I did notice one thing: Regina Hall was on next to Chelsea Handler, and they didn't put the camera on her a lot because she just was not laughing at a lot of stuff.
She was not feeling it.
She was not feeling it at all. So, also Cheryl Underwood spoke out about it. And she was saying how, because everybody's getting upset about the jokes they made about her husband committing suicide. They made a lot of jokes about her husband who committed suicide, jumped off a bridge.
Mm.
And that was a topic for jokes. And that was one thing Chelsea Handler said too, I think. And a couple other people said, like, using race jokes and this woman's husband dying, that, like, you're not even you're going for the easy bait. You're not even trying to be original and writing your jokes.
Not even clever. And
you're not even clever and nothing like that.
Hurtful.
And Chelsea Handler, the gentleman who, and I forget his name, Sean something, or whoever hosted it, Chelsea Handler says she talked to some people that he used to date.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, he really is kind of asinine like that. So it's not just an act. Okay. So, and Cheryl Underwood said she didn't mind the jokes. She was warned ahead of time about these jokes. And I don't know. It sounds like, to me, I'll be honest with you, it sounds like Cheryl Underwood was just playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just playing the game and trying to get along. To get up and, not ruffle any feathers so she can get more work. Because she did mention she's trying to work out here like everybody else. Right. So I guess she had to toe the line to work. Next, I'm really into them. When I finish this Kevin Hart thing, when I finish this special, I will come back and say something about it.
Give a
when
review.
I'm done with it.
Well, I don't even know whether I want to watch it. Hearing some of the stories
I was told by my best friend, like I told you last week, I was told by my best friend not to watch it.
Okay.
It's going to piss you off, Kenny. Don't watch it. Next, we got James Franco is planning a comeback with a Rambo prequel starring Noah Centineo. Mm-hmm. I guess Noah Centineo will be Rambo, but he's going to be we haven't seen James Franco in the spotlight for a while.
He got caught up in some of that Me Too stuff.
Yeah, he got caught up in some of that Me Too stuff. So he
did some stuff that probably was right. That probably wasn't on the up and up. So you know what? If you don't do anything that you're going to be embarrassed about, that's going to kill your career, then hey, just don't do it.
So, but now he's planning his comeback.
All right.
Don't call it a comeback. He's been here for years. Stephen Colbert's last late show was May the 21st. Did you see this?
Thursday night. I, you know what? This is gonna sound horrible, but I don't stay up that late for the late show. And even though I usually watch like the replays on YouTube because honestly, I'm in bed by 9 most school nights. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. His last show was Thursday, but the one take I did see was the last 10 minutes, and it was a musical performance with, I believe, him, John Baptiste, Elvis Costello, and it was absolutely beautiful. And then Paul McCartney came in, and they had this big sing along to "Hello Goodbye," and all the members of his staff. And you look around, it's like now all these people are going to be out of work
Yeah.
again because the big bloated orange guy is wielding
Yeah.
way too much power.
Well,
I guess
they're
the
not.
reason
They're not.
behind the end of the show is what disturbs me more than anything else.
They're saying they couldn't afford it. The network is saying they
Lies.
couldn't afford
It's
to
the
do the
number
show
one
anymore.
show in late night, and you can't afford
Yeah,
it.
they can't afford to do it. Yeah,
That
that sounds a lot. That sounds a lot of sus.
that's bullshiggity. That's all I'm gonna say.
So next to the news is Quentin Brunson, who we all love,
Abbott Elementary.
is going. Yes, Abbott Elementary is going to star as Betty Boop. I think she's producing it too, and it's going to be on Betty Boop. Because Betty Boop, as we all know, was originally started by a black entertainer in the 30s,
Mm-hmm.
and she became a cartoon character who was voiced by a white woman, but that wasn't really her origins. It was something that was stolen. I had the story in front of me earlier, and I lost the story, but um, uh, I didn't. Oh man, I forgot the woman's name, and I had it in front of me. But anyway, it was the whole Betty Boop idea was stolen from a black entertainer in the 30s,
Mm-hmm.
made famous by a white entertainer. They were later went to court. The black lady won, the court case, and now Quentin Brunson is bringing Betty Boop back, and I can't wait to see what she does with it.
Mm.
I can't wait to see how she pays tribute to, because it's Brunson. She's going to pay tribute to the origin of where Betty Boop came from.
Right. Right.
And making Betty Boop a black character again is going to be okay. Yeah, here it is. It's Esther Jones, aka Baby Esther. She was the originator of Baby Boop,
Betty
Betty
Boop.
Boop, Betty Boop, and I don't know the lady's name who stole it, but it's insignificant. It was just stolen by someone and made a big thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that was it.
I mean,
So
talk to Big Mama Thurston or any number of artists who kind of really started the roots of rock and roll, of how it was stolen by people like Elvis and others who, again,
yes,
benefited off the work and talent of black artists and musicians. But that's another whole rabbit hole that we can go down another time.
yes,
All right.
yes.
Also in the
Last but
news,
not least, oh,
I know it's
oh,
like I'm
it's
Rob
like
Bass
your
doing
youth and
this
your
by
childhood, and not
things.
even my childhood, but this is like, when I was in my 20s and everything, and I was partying in my teenage years and 20s and everything, and everybody, I mean, you would have to live under a rock if you lived in America and you never danced to "It Takes Two."
It takes two.
It Takes Two. Rob Bass
It takes.
passed away at the battle with cancer at the age of 59 um, last week.
Yeah.
And,
Right
Rob
about
Bass,
now.
man, It Takes
Doom,
Two
doom.
is a legendary song. Joy
Rest
and
in
pain.
peace.
Joy and pain, like sunshine and rain coming from now, baby. Oh, joy.
You're not even
I'm
doing
sorry.
the. Rob bass part. You're just doing the
I know
Frankie
I'm doing
Beverly
the
part.
Omar. I'm doing the
But
Omar with the main part. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it takes two to make the thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight.
Let's just take
So
a minute to say hi to the folks in the comments.
the water.
Dewana is here. How are you this evening? Cousin Lisa's here as well. I don't know why I had the comments like big as all get
I
out,
know.
but you know what? Because I tried to adjust them for both the uh, regular feed and this feed as well. But she was saying, oh, I guess when we were talking about the roast, that is
Mhm.
not a fun thing to make fun of, somebody's husband passing because she is still mourning her husband's passing. And Dwana's saying that she loved Rob Bass, the one who knows about things. I could
Did you ever listen to that song that I sent you?
I did not. I'm sorry. I said I was going to wait till the weekend when my head was clear. And I thought about that earlier today. I was like, "Oh, I should listen before the show so I can give her
Yeah,
feedback."
I was
But
because
I
the
got
water's on that song.
okay cuz I was yeah, I didn't listen to it. You sent it to me on Facebook or
Yeah,
is it text message?
I sent it to you through a text message, but the
Okay.
water's on that song, and
Uh-huh.
she was listening to us in the studio, and I had her say one line, and we recorded it 5 times and put it throughout the song. And her line throughout the whole thing is, "We on top of this like a buffalo soldier riding a horse."
Mhm.
That's the only thing she says.
Okay. So I got to go and give it a good listen. Maybe after the show I can give it a good listen. Cuz I don't have school tomorrow. School
Now
out
I
for
don't have work
summer.
tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. It's a
You know what
holiday.
tomorrow's going to be? You know what
What?
tomorrow's going to be?
What's tomorrow going to be?
Because it's raining out and everything. I have
Uh,
nowhere to go tomorrow. I have nobody invited me to a barbecue or a party or anything because I'm not popular like that. So it's going to be a boxer short, jazz, and comic book day.
aha.
I don't even think it's going to be a shower day. It's going to be a boxer short, jazz, and comic book day.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's it.
I want to plant some seeds, I think. I wanted to plant it outside, but it's been raining and it's been so messy. I haven't been able, like I like to sit out on the back and work on my plants and repot things, but it's been so messy I haven't been able to, but Dewanna's saying no autographs, please. No autographs, please. I'm still
uh,
adjusting it for the other medium.
yeah.
For some reason, it's
So
coming out way long on the
let's talk about what our topic is today.
okay. Why don't you go ahead and do just that? Talk about the topic.
Okay, so today the topic is cousin, please shower. You know what?
Don't read the comments. Just talk about the topic,
Okay.
please.
The topic is the white savior. And there's a lot of movies that come out and it's about black people's oppression, or not even black, just indigenous people's oppression, and there's usually one white guy that comes in and saves the day, or a white woman that comes in and saves the day and speaks up for them. And these are the movies that we're talking about today. Some of them are good movies, and some of them are kind of they're good. They're considered good movies, but they're this kind of I don't know, grandizing to people who are not indigenous, I guess. So let's get into it and let's get into the movies. The first movie is one of my favorite all-time movies, and it's The Magnificent Seven. I was looking at different lists. The Magnificent Seven came on the list. I'm like, man, that's one of my favorite movies. Why is that on the list? And I thought about it. This is about the first ever Magnificent Seven, because there was all these other Magnificent Sevens after that, and it didn't follow the same landscape. But the first Magnificent Seven in 1960 with Yul Brynner, Charles Bronson, James Coburn, Steve McQueen. They had to save a Mexican village south of the border, and they went and do that. And it was these 6 white guys, 1 Mexican guy that tagged along and got in on the end of it. Who basically these white saviors came in and saved this Mexican village through a shootout. Some of them died, but not all of them. A couple of them lived. But I'm not giving anything away. Anybody's probably seen the Magnificent Seven. It's a shootout movie, so you know somebody's got to die.
That was an
They didn't even
amazing
use.
shot. That was a horrible shot. I was aiming at the horse. Okay. I'm sorry.
Nobody gives me my own guns and tells me to run. Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. So Magnificent Seven is the first one because it's a bunch of white guys that came in and
And I
saved the
think,
Mexican village.
and you know what? And I think, like you said, a lot of these movies are considered, like some of them are considered highly acclaimed, but that becomes such a part of like the lexicon and like the Hollywood movie trope that everybody accepts it. But is it right? Now we're not debating whether it's right or wrong, but it's like I almost feel like I want to say I see what you're doing there,
Yeah.
and we get a little tired of it. And again, sometimes they flip it, and I mean, I think we only have an hour, so we're only going over a couple movies because when we get into the sports movie, which I think the next one is a sports movie, you could probably name another 10 different movies that have come out with that same trope in it. The Great White Hope syndrome, I call it.
Yeah. The Great White Hope Syndrome. Next, we have Hardball with Keanu Reeves.
Which, and
He
again,
takes
can I
on
preface
a-
this by saying I love Keanu and I love all things Keanu, and this one was perfect, especially for the Gen Xer side of me, who again he's going for the girl, the teacher, who's Diane Lane. I mean, from The Outsiders. I mean, come on, what more could you want? And the kids are so, I think, adorable and cute in
Yeah.
here, and I mean.
I love it when you call me Big
Papa.
Papa.
Throw your hands in the
And
air.
it's in the air.
You know
So yeah,
what?
it was a good movie. It was a sad movie towards the end. But
Yeah.
it was a good movie. But he took on this team, and
And I don't know, does this because again, if you think, but again, like a movie like Wildcats, you could probably say the same thing. Although that team was a mix of black and white,
that team was a mix of black, white,
players or
Hispanic,
whatever.
everything.
But
But
or there was another basketball movie with Josh Lucas all I remember about the movie was the one boy who was failing his class or something, and the mom comes and sits up in his class and starts going, "Oh, he'll answer that. Oh, he knows the answer. My son knows the answer." And I thought that was
I
so
don't know that
funny.
movie. I don't know that movie.
Gosh, I can't think. It was about, and I think it was based on a true story too, about a Southern basketball team where they were playing black players, and it was like again during segregation, and up until that point, it had kind of been segregated as far as basketball was concerned. I got to look up that movie because I'm not sure the name of it. But again, a lot of
Next,
these movies can fall into that same
yeah.
trope. I hate that a Keanu Reeves movie has to be in there because I usually love and I'm all about all things Keanu.
In a lot of these movies that we have on there, like this next one, some of these are based on true stories.
Mhm.
And on the true story, and there's going to be some other ones too. The next two, actually, based on true stories. However, a white character was inserted in the story to be that savior that wasn't really there in real life. So, Hidden Figures is the next one.
Mhm.
Hidden Figures, the Kevin Costner character, I believe, did not do all the things that they said. Like when he tore down the restroom sign for Caledoni, I think by the time these women came along, it was already integrated bathrooms in there. So that was just made in there because you had black folks in the '60s, and you wanted to show that oppression. You wanted to show this white guy knocking down a sign and getting rid of the race barrier. He was the one to let her in the meeting on the first time and everything.
Right.
So
And again, I think they were using that, for the storytelling aspect of it. It wasn't necessarily accurate.
yeah, because each person, each woman in the Hidden Figures stars were helped out by someone white to get along. Each story that they told of each one of them, they were helped out by someone white to get ahead.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like, the next one is Men of Honor, which is the same thing. Um, Navy diver Bashir, the Robert De Niro character was not a real character in this movie, but he was there. He had to train him to pass his test and everything else, and then he came in on the courtroom and helped him get through. And said, "I want my steps now, Cappy," and this is all that kind of stuff. And that
Oh,
wasn't quite
uh,
how it happened,
I'm sorry.
and that character wasn't a true character in Bashir's life.
I remember the Josh Lucas movie now. It's called Glory Road. Have you ever seen Glory Road?
No, I see Glory Road.
Mm, okay, Glory Road. That's the movie I was thinking of. And I think I saw Men of Honor years ago. I don't really remember it though. It didn't stand
It was
out.
Robert De Niro and Cuban Gooding Jr.
Okay. Ooh,
And it was a good
I
movie.
think
It was a
he's in
decent
some trouble
movie.
now.
Yeah, oh, Cuban Gooding, yeah, he is. He is. I think he is. I think he's probably keeping a low profile now too.
Low, low, low.
Um, it gets
He on
yeah,
the James Franco tip, but I guess
yeah. Well,
instead of young girls, young boys. But anyway,
damn,
sorry.
damn, you can't throw it out there
Dag.
like that. You can't throw it out
I'm
there like that.
sorry. Well, when we last summer when they were in the height of all the Puff Daddy stuff, I was like, ooh, I was just reading things. Just reading
Mm.
things. I'm just saying. Anyway. Now
Next, we
this
have an oldie but goodie
Mhm.
that I think we saw in the movie theater together. I don't know if we saw this in a drive-through or the movie theater,
oh,
but
the, oh,
Conrack.
it was the drive-in and like Conrack and let me tell you, I and like you say, it's so ubiquitous and you don't realize, oh wait, that's the trope. That was one of the first ones. I
Yes,
mean, when you talk TV series, you can think of the White Shadow or whatever, but that was in there early. But Conrack, which was kind of based on it was a book by Pat Conroy, who also wrote Prince of Tides, which Barbara Streisand made into a movie, and the movie is compared to the book. The book is excellent, as is this book, and the thing about it, it was his true story and his true experience of being a teacher on this island off of South Carolina with all these African American kids. So, I part of it was his experience. So,
yeah, yeah. And now that we're talking about it, I want to break into this. One of my favorite movies that did not make this list, and it's kind of sort of the same idea in a way. One of my favorite movies is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier, Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn. A great movie, a fantastic movie. One of my favorite lines in that is when Spencer Tracy asks Sidney Poitier, "You can't tell me that the Negro kids don't dance better than the white kids." And Sidney Poitier says, "Well, that's the thing. You can dance the Watusi, but we are the Watusi," and that's one of my favorite lines from that movie. However, at the end of the movie, um, the woman who plays Sidney Poitier's mother says something to Spencer Tracy about being cold in the heart and not knowing what love is. And Spencer Tracy decides to get everybody in the cast together, all the characters together in one room. Even even the maid, Isabel Stanford, who played the maid in that, who did a great job as the maid in that one. Even her and everybody in the room, and he's going over the events of the day. and he gives this big speech because Sidney Poitier's character's his mother and father are there. Spencer Tracy gives this big speech because the big thing is that it's an interracial couple. The Sidney Poitier's father doesn't approve of it, and Spencer Tracy is the father of the bride. He doesn't really, not that he doesn't approve. He doesn't approve because he thinks they're going to have it real hard and it's going to be real difficult, and they shouldn't do this and this, that, and the other. So two fathers agree on it. Two mothers are like, well, they love each other and everything's daisy. The Monsieur, the pastor there, he is all for it too because he says that because he's a guy of religion, he has to be that way. But the thing about this is that contains this topic is Spencer Tracy at the end of that movie gives a big speech on why they should be together. And he says to Sidney Poitier's character, he says, you have no problem from me about this marriage. And after me, your mother, and Christina, Kathy Hepburn's character, work on your father, you'll have no problem from him. Which is the white male character of this taking control, and without the black male father saying, you know what, I'm okay with this. The whole story ended with the white male character saving the day and saying, you know what, I'm okay with this. You have no problem for me. I'll support this, and we'll get your dad to support this too. So it's kind of like the same thing. It's kind of like the same trope in that movie with not really, like you didn't need the approval from the black father. You needed approval from the white father in order for the show to go forward and for these guys to get married and for them to roll the credits.
Oh, how true. How true. Before we go on, let me just take a minute to thank you guys for hanging out with us. We are Kathy and Kenny, Pop Culture Kids. We're here every Sunday night. If you are watching us on my channel, K-Walk Comedy, we invite you to go over to Pop Culture Kids, which is on YouTube, and give us a subscribe, a thumbs up. It helps our video, helps the algorithm, and all those YouTubey things. And be sure to check us out on our webpage, www.kathyandkenny.com. And we're going to hopefully get some updates to that this summer. We haven't been great about updating it, but we thank you for signing up to be a Pop Culture Kid. Get your Pop Culture Kid cards. Also, there's some merch out there that you can enjoy. But more importantly, we thank you for just being here and hanging out with us on a Sunday. All right. Moving on up and down the list.
Next, we have a movie I haven't seen yet, and I really want to see, but The Green Book.
You know what? I don't think I watched this movie either, The Green Book. And part of it is based on a historically true thing. And if you've ever visited the African American Museum, uh, one of the Smithsonian museums in Washington, D.C., which it's free, by the way, while we still have a museum, because who knows, in this administration, they could be getting rid of that shit any day now. Anyway, just saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, they actually have a copy of a Green Book, but I guess back in the 50s and the 60s, if you were a black person traveling, and again, these youngsters, they take all this stuff for granted. And oh, I'm going to be a travel vlogger and live out of my car. But there was a time in history where black people of color couldn't travel as freely as they liked because you didn't know where you'd be welcome, where you could stay, where you could eat. And this Green Book was designed to let people know, okay, where the safe spaces were. So this movie is, I think, based on that principle and how that book came to be, is from my understanding of it. If you've seen it, let us know in the comments. Oh, Lisa has seen it and she enjoyed the Green Book. So
Yeah, I have that queued up to watch. I think it's either on Netflix or Prime, but excuse me.
Mhm.
I have that queued up to watch because I really want to watch that. I like both of those actors; are really
Mhm.
good actors. So I really do want to watch that one. And
Oh yeah, Masala Ali. I liked
yeah,
him. Now I watched him in Midnight because my cousin Dorian said that was like just the greatest movie. I didn't enjoy Midnight. I thought it was a little dark and it made me very sad. Um so I didn't think it was that great. I didn't but you know, I don't know.
and I've liked Viggo Mortensen since Lord
Oh,
of the
Viggo
Rings. So
Mortensen is good. Yeah.
yeah, I liked him since Lord of the Rings. So hey, he was awesome in that. You know. Next we have Avatar, a movie I have not seen any Avatar movie.
You have
I've
not?
not watched an
I
Avatar
actually,
movie.
and I thought the second one, I think there's 3 of them. I don't think I've seen the
Yes, 3 of
third.
them.
I saw the second
Yeah,
one, and the second one was a little too heavy-handed with the whole like and here's the thing I love about sci-fi is how they can use sci-fi or space and all these other realms and things to say things about again, modern society. The whole idea of Star Trek of all these different races and nationalities being able to, live and work together. I, just think was a really great commentary, especially during the time it was originally conceived and produced in the 1960s. And sci-fi can do that. That's why I love Octavia Butler. They're supposed to be bringing some of her work to the big screen, and I cannot wait. But the thing with Avatar, I thought the message about like environmentalism was a little too heavy-handed in the second one, and but in the first one, now you say you've never seen Avatar,
I've never wanted to see. I don't know why. I've just never. And you would think somebody like me would want to see that.
right?
I've never had the desire to see Avatar.
And you know what? I think there was so much hype about it that I avoided it. But then I actually
Yeah,
did see it because, again, Sigourney Weaver is GOAT. I'm sorry. Homegirl is just, you know what?
I
After the
get that.
Alien
I get that.
films, I just love her. Anyway, but again, it was this whole idea of this race of people. And again, they're living their lives. But again, big money, big corporation, big, almost, you could almost say that about the US government right now, the way we're acting in places like Venezuela and Iran, just wants to come in, swoop in, and steal the resources, you know?
Yes,
And of
yes.
course, in this
Claim it,
particular
claim it as your
movie,
own.
you have and that's another thing too with this trope is a lot of times they make the white savior like defective, like in Hardball, he was like this gambling kind of hard on his luck
Yeah,
guy or whatever. And not to say he was defective, but he was a wounded vet, so he was a paralyzed vet. But when he became this avatar, he had legs, he could run again. And and again, his whole mission was to be there to spy, but again, he winds up being like, you know, the savior for this race of people that they're trying to extinguish, basically. So yeah.
yeah. And when you think about it, when you talk about sci-fi and things like that, and I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, the Twilight Zone, Rob
Mhm.
Serling, when he made the Twilight Zone, the original idea was based off of damn, I'm getting old.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said it. You said we talked about it a couple weeks ago. The original idea was based on humana, humana, humana.
Emmett
What the
Till.
hell?
The original idea was based on Emmett Till.
Emmett Till.
Emmett Till. So
Yeah, because I think a couple weeks ago I
it,
was
it
talking. I
was,
was I was actually doing some observations for teachers, and I walked into one room. They're doing Anne Frank. I walked into another. They're talking Emmett Till. I'm like, this is too deep, too heavy. It was like one. I was in the ELA room. They're talking about Anne Frank. I went into a social studies room. It's Emmett Till. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's like emotionally taxing.
you you
To
went you went home and had a glass of wine. And by a glass I mean a bottle.
Moscato, baby, Moscato. Some days you got to.
Oh man.
Some days you
So
must Moscato.
the next two movies you put on the list, I've never seen either one of these movies. First we're going with Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous Minds. Now I saw this quite a while ago. Dangerous Minds, and again, it's probably more famous for the Coolio song Gangster's Paradise, in which I think Michelle Pfeiffer and some of the cast members appear. It's again based on a true story, kind of like Conrack, of this teacher's experience, and it's funny that if I could take the kind of solo spot for just a second, because part of the reason this topic kind of came up was a conversation that I did have in school, and how unfortunately, I'm not sure which it is, but there are some teachers I feel, especially when they're working in inner cities and with populations that are different from them, have that savior syndrome and feel like, oh, I'm here to just rescue all the brown and black babies. And though that's admirable, that sometimes I don't know whether you put on blinders and you can't treat folks like poor babies. I'm here to save you, and that might not be your intention, but sometimes it can come across as your intention, if that makes any sense. I don't know, does that make sense, or am I just
It makes sense. It makes
am I
sense.
just being too
It makes
critical?
perfect
And
sense.
that's and I was talking about that kind of syndrome, which made me think about, oh, how it's depicted in those movies, which is why I suggested this topic for tonight. But Dangerous Minds was based off a true story. I I believe that one was a true story. Maybe not, if not Dangerous Minds. I know definitely the second one, which is Freedom Riders, was based off a true story, and I think and her experience working in the LA school system or somewhere in
What
California.
actress was that? That was
It was either Hilary Swank or I think it was it Hilary Swank or a Hilary Swank lookalike. I'm gonna go with. If it wasn't, was it was it Jennifer? Um, Gosh, now you're making me IMDb it. Yeah, it was Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank, who, by the way, Million Dollar Baby she was excellent in, but that was Hilary Swank. Yeah.
okay. That because she looked kind of like Jennifer Gardner. Okay, yeah, it's a little swank.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's a couple actresses, and you're like, yeah, Hillary
is it her?
Gardner,
Is it
Jennifer.
not her? Is it
Yeah,
who is
yeah,
it? Yeah.
because that's the other one I was thinking of. If it's not Hillary Swank, it's Jennifer Gardner. It's yeah, they're sisters from the same Mister or something like that. They look a lot alike. So,
Next, we have a classic, To Kill a Mockingbird,
hmm, and
which I love. It was a good story. I loved Killing Mockingbird. It was a great story. I was actually at the comic book store and they had a graphic novel of To Kill a Mockingbird, and I had to pick it up. I
I
had to
think
pick it up.
this year some of our eighth graders actually read that graphic novel, and because I know I was in class one day when they were actually watching the movie to kill a mockingbird, and I know it's one of those staples as far as middle and high school reading, to Kill a Mockingbird, and it was actually one of the books on my list that I reread as an adult, because I know at the time when you read it when you're in school, and it does feel sometimes like a chore.
Hmm.
I think well, I remember having to read like the Three Musketeers in French for French class, and it was tedious, but I actually want to go back and I think reread that as an adult, especially given the knowledge that I wasn't taught in French class, that the author was actually African American,
A
which
black man.
yeah, would
Yes.
just spin a different light on it,
Not
and that
African
this
American, but a black man.
but a black
Yeah.
man. Oh, I'm sorry, not African American. Again, I'm grouping all black folks as African American. Bad, Kathy, bad. Anyway, but he was. But anyway, but To Kill a Mockingbird was one of those books I went back and I think I reread it in my 30s or 40s, um, to get a sense of it or an understanding, to see what parts were left out, and I think the movie comes off as that, oh, kind of great white hope, Atticus Finch, and he's the reason why half these people go into law school to be public defenders and such, and that's just quite admirable. But I don't know how good a job that movie does at looking at this whole picture. You know, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Um, the realism of it is the realism of it is kind of fictional,
Hmm.
meaning that when you watch the movie, you see some things, and he's looking like this great white hope. He's this guy trying to save this black man, which ultimately fails because they wind up killing him anyway. Um,
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm sorry if you never seen it
If
or
you've
read
never
it.
seen, yeah.
They wind up but and his disgust in that and what happens and what's going on in the town, which kind of makes him sort of an outcast in the town because he's defending this black man.
Mm.
The evidence is obviously in his favor, but because the town is so racist, that just doesn't apply, which seems apropos for the time that it was set in.
Hmm.
You know, and this is like a common tale. You basically told a story with a common tale to it that this guy wasn't going to get justice regardless of what the outcome was.
Right.
Because even if they had set him free and said he was not guilty, I'm pretty sure they would have killed
They
him at
would have
some
killed them
point.
anyway. Hmm.
Yeah, he would have died in.
It's almost. Hey, have you ever seen A Time to Kill with
I think I did. Is that
Samuel L.
Sam Jackson?
Jackson, where his
Yeah.
daughter was raped and then he kills the perpetrators?
No, I didn't see that. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but yeah, I
Yeah.
know what movie you're
Where
talking about.
and again, that's part of those like The Firm and all those movies, and that's Matthew McConaughey. That was kind of like his big movie, his breakthrough role. But again, he was kind of serving in that kind of white savior role kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to talk about that, then with a movie where nobody really is kind of like a white savior in a way. But one of my favorite movies, 12 Angry Men,
Hmm.
where I guess the guy is Latino or something like that, the kid that's on trial for killing his father. And there's one scene where one of the guys is really prejudicing. You know how these people are. These people do this and these people do that, and they don't care this that, and the other. And everybody walks away from the table. And then one guy sits across and he goes, I want you to shut up and don't say nothing for the rest of the day. Because these guys being so racist, everybody just walks away from the table. Because at the beginning of this movie, everybody had this boy as guilty.
Hmm.
For their own obvious reasons, everybody had this boy as guilty. And then, they come up, of course, 12 Angry Men, spoiler alert, they come with a not guilty because they really can't prove that this kid is guilty of it. But it is almost like a white savior thing with Henry Fonda playing that white savior moment where he's like, I'm not sure he's guilty. I think we have to be fair.
Mm.
And this is a movie set in the 50s and 60s
Wow,
where
that's
it's
interesting. Cause
unheard of.
and yeah, and there's no people of color in the cast, although they're mentioned in this play. Lisa says she
Yes.
saw Time to Kill. It was a rough movie. The beginning had me cry. Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, that scene where they raped the little girl is just. Ugh,
I probably would have to skip that part or
yeah,
close my
yeah.
eyes. I couldn't watch that part.
That part was hard.
Next we have another movie I really like called The Help.
And everybody loved this movie. I hated this movie. I really did. And you know what? And I
Tell me
hated
why.
it.
Tell me why.
Well, you know what? The scene that everybody loves, the whole thing with the poop pie. I, to me, I didn't even find that. I didn't even find that amusing, um, justified, or anything. It just seemed, it just seemed mean, nasty, and I don't know. It didn't seem. Yeah, I guess in my mind, I want to think, yes, people can be oppressed. Yes, people can be treated badly. But to me, the best reward is to rise above it. I mean, hello, been there, got the t shirt, but that kind of revenge or vicious kind of revengeful act, I don't know. It just, I didn't like it.
Unlike my sister, I'm going to be petty about this, and I totally co-sign on this act of putting poop in the pie. I co-sign on it. I think, hey,
You know what? This
you
is
got
this
a
is
lot
going to
of
be
talk about everybody else.
point
You got a
counterpoint
lot
because I
that character had
disagree.
a lot of talk. She had a lot of hate in her veins. She needed to eat somebody's poop. She had a lot of hate. She caused a lot of problems in town, and she needed to eat somebody's poop. I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with it.
Well, you're okay with not showering tomorrow, and even that, Lisa said.
Hey, hey, I probably will. I probably will shower tomorrow.
All right. Well, just so
I'm
you
just
know.
joking. But anyway, I totally co-signed on the poop in the pie bit because she deserved it, and she would not give anyone else any quarter or any mercy. So hey, look, I'm more of the Malcolm X, out of the two of us. Kathy's more the Martin Luther King. I'm more the Malcolm X by any means necessary. Hey, I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
So you're all right
So
with poop in the pie.
I'm okay. Look, listen. I think you had too much pie.
Oh.
so the help I thought was a very good movie.
Poop in the
I thought it was a
pie.
very
Poop
good
in the
movie.
pie.
Poop in the pie, poop in the pie, poop in the pie, poop in the pie. I'm okay with the poop in the pie. Have all the poop in the pie you want. Last but not least on this list is I put this last, The Blind Side. And one of the reasons I put this last is because when the movie came out, it won a lot of awards and it was very acclaimed for being a good movie. And then we found out later that the movie was a lie.
Mm.
That's not how it happened. This
Well,
whole Great White Hope thing is not really what happened in this movie. Not totally, not to the line.
and again, when they take even real life stories and apply them to the movie, they are going to exaggerate and they are going to fill in like gaps to make the story flow, to have your peaks and ebbs and just your story structure. So I'm sure they've had to add things, and that would be the case with any movie. I was reading how, well, even the Michael Jackson movie, like there were scenes that were actually shot and the actress cast as Diana Ross, but she put the kibosh on it, so that whole thing was left out of the movie because they didn't include all the scenes about with the Wiz and everything, and how that was his connection to Quincy, and Quincy going on to produce the album, and how Michael lived in New York with Diana Ross during those Studio 54 days, 64, listen to me, 54 days.
Yeah.
And how who knows what kind of influence she had on him and what kind of grooming she may have been doing that might not have
So
looked
I didn't
very
read that.
good.
Diana,
I read an article
that's
about
why
that.
Diana scenes were not in there because she put the kibosh on her part.
Yep. That's what this
Interesting.
particular
Very
article
interesting.
said that I read. And again, it's on the interwebs,
And
so
in the movie,
it could be true, it
too,
could be
they
false.
and in the movie too, they had that same concept too because the only reason Michael got played on MTV was because his white manager went to the record exec and said,
Hey,
X, Y, and Z,
white
and the white guy,
savior jumps in
okay,
again.
we're gonna pull everybody from our listing. No Bruce, no Springsteen, no Lopper, no nothing, unless you play Michael.
Mm. So hey,
So and I still don't like the movie because Michael seemed like pretty much a punk in this movie.
we have different I had a different movie going experience, and I think that was for me. That was part of my recommendation of seeing Michael, was seeing it in the theater. Would I watch it streaming or on cable or something? I don't know whether I would stop and watch it and have the same
No,
passion about it as I did going to the theater, going with my cousins, going seeing it with. I went with like a group. There, I think there was like 7 or 8 of us that wound up going, but then the little kids in the theater too, the energy of it, the little boy dressed as Michael and singing along to the songs and hearing people in the theater sing. That to me, that was the experience of it.
I would say
It was
something.
very old school
I'm
movie
not a big
theater.
fan.
It was almost like when we
I'm not
saw
a big fan of.
Superman and everybody cheered when he first turned it. We saw
Yeah.
that
Oh
in
yeah. Yeah.
Westmont Theater, a theater that had a
Yeah. I'm
balcony.
not. I'm not a big fan of Michael impersonators.
Hmm.
I'm not a big fan of Prince impersonators. I'm not even a big fan of Elvis impersonators. I'm not a big fan of cover impersonator bands like Jimi Hendrix impersonators and stuff like people try to act like Prince and I'm people try to act like Mac. I'm just not a big fan of people dressing up and impersonating somebody else.
They say imitation
Be
is the
yourself.
highest form of flattery.
I know, I know, I know. And I was somewhere and somebody said that to me because an artist threw paper on the ground like I throw paper on the ground when I do my spoken word, and
Hmm.
I was just not. I was not moved.
I hear you. I hear you. It's like, oh
I
wait,
was not moved.
that's my thing. Don't take my
Yeah,
thing.
that's you know.
I hear you. I hear you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, we just listed about 12 different movies. Is there a movie that we missed that has that trope in it? Let us know in the comments. I know it takes a second or two for those comments to come through of a movie that kind of features that whole like idea of a white savior that we didn't include, so that we get it in. See, this is where if Ed were here, he would just rattle them off for us
So
because he
start
would know.
rattling those things off because there are some movies that we did miss that I saw, and I can't name them now, but there are some movies that we did miss that I saw. So since we did this week about the mystical black savior in a movie, there's this funny sketch. Key and Peele had really funny sketches. I know people compare it to Dave Chappelle show and stuff like that, and Dave Chappelle saying that Key and Peele took some of his act and whatnot and put a show after he left. But I still love the Key and Peele show. So eventually we're going to do a sketch comedy show. A sketch comedy show would be great for us to do. But next week I was thinking we would do the black savior, the mystical black guy that comes in and helps the white guy go forward in the movie because there's a lot of those type of movies.
Oh, wait, there was a movie where they actually called the character that name.
Yeah,
Uh, the mythical black man or something like that. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you know what? I did come up. I told you the name of that movie. I was that basketball movie I was thinking about. It's called Glory Road. It stars
Mhm.
Josh Lucas as a basketball. It's a real life story in the '60s who coached an all black team, but that's called Glory Road. Oh, and you know
I'm gonna
what?
have to
They
check that out.
they've also listed a movie I like. I know you didn't like it, but I liked The Greatest Showman as one of those kind of white
Yeah,
savior.
I that was listed too. I
Hmm.
tell you, I could not get through that movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
I could
This is the
not
greatest
finish
show.
that movie.
Oh.
And I like musicals. I
And
like Hugh
I hate
Jackman. I like
musicals, and I
Zendaya.
loved
I
it.
like Zac Efron,
Oh, Zac
and I could
Efron was
not get through that
awesome.
movie.
Wow.
I like the main actors in this movie. I like musicals. I could not get through this movie.
Wow.
I don't know why. I'll try again. I'll try again. It just seems very poorly written to me. The
I
musical
thought it
numbers
was
made no
great.
sense to me,
Oh, I
and I
love
didn't
the
get through the
musical
whole
numbers. That
thing. I
soundtrack
got
is
through the first
awesome.
half hour, and I couldn't even tell you what happened in that first half. I got through that first half hour, and I was like, okay, this is trash. Click.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's I stop every time that movie's on, I stop and watch it. It's one of those for me. I can't.
So that
I
so
can't
that's so
not
that's our
watch it. I could probably quote it.
that's our next two shows. Next week we're gonna do the Black mythical character, and the week after that we're gonna do sketch
Oh,
comedy
you know what
shows.
movie we didn't include? I see it on
What?
this one list. The Principal, Jim
I
Belushi. You remember that movie?
I like that movie too. That movie was a good movie. I like that movie, but there was some white kids in this class too. That's why I didn't add it.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay.
but
Well, see,
that was the actor who played Eddie Kane Jr. who played the lead in that,
hmm.
and the one guy that was one of his henchmen had this like, because it's the '80s, had this Jerry curl, and he's in there like with this Jerry curl and everything. He gets his butt kicked with the Jerry curl by Lou Gossett Jr.
Okay. Oh,
So
you know what? They
yeah,
did include a time. This one list does have a time to kill on it. So yeah. And like you said,
yeah.
and they included Wildcats too. Like you said, we only have an hour, but I think we hit quite a few of them though. I think we did. And I didn't see any additional ones in our comments. So I think we got most of them. So next week we explore the mystical black man or the mystical black character, the mythical or mystical. I don't know.
Mystical.
Mystical.
Yeah,
Okay.
mystical.
Like what comes
It
to
doesn't really have
mind
to be
when
mystical, but there's always that one black character that helps somebody through a movie and gives them advice, and boom, and there you go. And the first to
like
my mind is
Guinan
Kazan.
on Star Trek Next Generation.
Yes, 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 yes. They're there for
The
they're
Whoopi
there, I'm here.
Goldberg character.
I'm here for the advice. That's all I do.
That's right. Oh my God, The Matrix. Definitely the Oracle and The Matrix. That's got to
Well,
be the number
Morpheus,
one.
Morpheus to the Matrix,
True, but remember they had to go
but
see the
Yeah, the
Oracle.
Oracle, yeah, yeah, the Oracle, yes.
Oh yeah,
And I
or
mean that one
Morpheus. Yeah.
mystical black character helps you through the whole thing and gets you
Hmm.
there. And I think there was didn't Will Smith, well, we'll get to it next week, but Will Smith played a character in that golf movie, I think.
Okay. Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah. Okay. So that should be fun. So next week we'll do mythical black characters. After that, we might need to move on to some music because we've been in the movies for a little bit,
Oh no,
and we.
we're gonna do sketch comedy. We're gonna do sketch comedy shows, and then we'll do music.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. So we got 3 weeks of content all lined up for you every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. We are here, Kathy and Kenny, as we talk pop culture kids. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for giving us that thumbs up. And as always, in parting, we wish you love, peace, and pop culture.
God bless your soul and keep living. Peace.
Kathy and Kenny in a say, pop culture fun in every way. Music, TV, movies.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.
Sister and brother rocking the flow, sharing all the things you need to know. Kathy and Kenny always in the mix. Pop culture fun fix to fix. Pop culture kids podcast crew, tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kenny make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone. Sit for everyone. I brought some for everyone.